Hey, everybody, it's Ron Johnson, and this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. Hey, basketball people, I know it's coming. Will the Lakers have to play the Timberwolves? Will the Timberwolves get a higher seed than everybody's expecting, or will they end up in the play-in again? We'll talk about all that and much more. Also, there is a champion we have to crown, and also Locked On champion. We'll talk about that coming up next on the Ron Johnson Show.
Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. Now the Ron Johnson Show. On the field, in the broadcast booth, Ron Johnson is Minnesota sports. He's played with them, hung out with them, and grown up with all the big names in Minnesota sports. They're hanging out with Ron Johnson. It's the Ron Johnson Show on the Locked On Sports Minnesota podcast. And it starts now.
Hey, everybody, this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. It's a beautiful Tuesday. There's no snow. There's no rain. Minnesota! I know you're loving this weather right now, but it could be warmer. We know that. But speaking of warm, heating up, Houston, we have a problem. We have to talk about what happened. You lose the way you win, and I'll explain what that means with the Houston Cougars that just lost, but also the Minnesota Timberwolves. I watch a lot of TV, and there's a lot going on in basketball, and for some reason, these national pundits don't like to talk about the Timberwolves. Everybody loves LeBron James and the Lakers and Luka. But I had a tweet the other day that it didn't go super viral, but I did get some people basically understanding where I'm coming from, so I appreciate that. When I first tweeted, I was like, oh, I'm going to get killed for saying the Timberwolves can beat the Lakers in 5. But I got some for Shannon Sharp coming up. I'll make sure Sam posts this, and we tag Shay on Twitter, because last time me and Shay locked horns, Kirk Cousins was involved. I would love to see what he thinks about that right now. Probably not the same feeling, but a couple years ago, my tweet made sense. But again, this is the Ron Johnson Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Hey, do you have a lot of credit cards? Do you have bills? Do you have a bank account? Well, Monarch Money is for you. Imagine all of your expenses in one place. You can put in, I know what we have to pay for rent. I know what we have to pay for utilities. And then when you pay it, maybe it's less this month because you didn't use as much gas because it's nice outside. It will tell you how much money you actually have left over from your expected expenses. It can also tell you receipts, purchases, food, everything. It'll categorize you, makes your life easier when it's time to do your taxes. Just use code LOCKEDONNFL. That's LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com and take 50% off your first year. Well, again, as we jump into the show, I'll bring my co-host, my producer, my guy, Sam Ekstrom, to the show. People, today's show, we're going to talk a little basketball. We got Tyler Nubin, hopefully joining us later today in the show. NFL safety Tyler Nubin, former Gopher Tyler Nubin, plays for the New York Football Giants. I got to ask him about Mr. Unlimited. Like, is he ready for Mr. Unlimited? Is he ready to hang out with Sierra? I want to ask him how surprised he is about that, because we got to tag Sierra. When he tells us his favorite Sierra song, hopefully we can tag Sierra in that one too, and see if Tyler's about that 1-2 step. But again, I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom joining me. Sam, talking about Timberwolves. Playoffs are coming, and the Timberwolves are all but in. And you brought up a cool point that I'll let you explain. What's going on right now with this Western Conference race?
I don't think we've ever seen a race this tight. And this is why the play-in is great, Ron, because any other year, this really wouldn't be a story. Because right now, spots 4 through 8 are separated by half a game, and 5 through 8 are tied. Now, before the play-in, everybody would be in, right? It would just be a jockeying for seeds. But now that the play-in is a thing, nobody wants to be in the play-in tournament. You don't want to be eliminated early. You want the time off. You want to get the 7-game series right away. So here's where we stand right now, Ron. You got Denver at 47-32. They've got a half-game lead on these 4 teams that are tied. The Clippers, the Warriors, the Wolves, and the Grizzlies. Wolves could have home court, Ron, home court advantage in the first round, or they could be the 8th seed. anywhere in that range. Who do you want to play as well? I'm curious who you would like to play in the first round, because you could literally play any of the teams I mentioned. You could play the Thunder if you're the 8th seed. You could play the Rockets if you're the 7th seed. Where would you like the Wolves to land?
I like the Rockets. I don't know if you saw the Lakers dismantle the Rockets, as Shannon Sharp said. I'm going to save my Shannonism for a little bit later in the show, but the Rockets, like, they're good, but I feel like they're beatable. Like, I feel like, when you watch them, though, they beat the Warriors. But what happened? Steph Curry scored, I think, 3 points. Draymond scored 2. And the biggest story of that game was Steph Curry and Emeki Udoka, or Emi Udoka. I forgot how you say his name. But the head coach, him and Steph Curry got into it. But he's also got into it with LeBron James. That guy he's a former player. So he has a little bit of that Dillon Brooks in him. And Dillon Brooks is on that team. He's a villain. But they got into it with Steph Curry, and everybody asked what would happen. Steph Curry made a joke about International Smoke, which is his wife's restaurant. So it was a shameless plug to say he made reservations at International Smoke, and then he canceled them. So that's why we had a little bit of disagreement. You can't just cancel the plans on my wife's restaurant. But I'd rather play the Rockets. I just feel like the Lakers are tough right now with Luka, and the Timberwolves and Luka don't have a great history. Like, I feel like Luka knows, if I can get Rudy Gobert on that edge, come dance with me, baby. Dance with me. Let's dance. For those that don't know where that's from, that was from like the award show with what's her name? Not Emma Watson, but the other one that's from Emma Stone. Yeah, she's from the movie with Jonah Hill. Superbad. That's Emma Stone, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, she did at the award show, because now it's a song tied on top of a meme with everything. But yeah, she was at the award show and was like, let's dance. And so what everybody doesn't know, that Jonah Hill, like, that's what that's from. I love looking at the history of memes, because people always wonder, like, we see these memes and they go super viral, and I love to research the story where it came from, because it makes it even funnier. Like the little girl that makes the face like I don't know if you saw that one, Sam. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Her sister. Do you know the story? Like, they were supposed
I don't know the story. No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you got to watch the video. It's even funnier. So her mom tells them they're going to Disney World, and the one sister is to her left, and she starts crying. And then the camera pans to the little sister, and she's looking at the crying sister like, why are you crying? We're going to Disney World. So that's where that comes from. So I love to look at the history of memes, but like Rudy Gobert and Luka dancing, not a good matchup. So I don't want to face, and I don't really want King James this early. Like, I don't want to deal with him this early. Like, I would not mind playing them in the next round, because if I'm not mistaken, let's see, 1 beats 8. If 2, because the NBA doesn't reseed, do they? Or do they reseed?
I don't believe they do. So if you don't want the Lakers, you don't want to be 6, because it looks like the Lakers are probably a 3. You don't want to be 6.
Correct, because 3 beats 6, and then they have to play. They play the winner of 4 and 5, right? Is that how that works, or am I wrong? No, because if 2
they
wins,
would play 2 and 7, 2 and 7, and 3 and 6 would match up.
4 and 5 go to the 1 and 8.
Yeah,
is that how that goes? Yeah, it's so weird. I wish they would just reseed, because I get what you're trying to do, but like, if 7, and this is why people get mad, if the Timberwolves at 7 beat the Rockets, they don't have to play the Thunder. And that's what everybody's saying should happen. They should go play the Thunder. I thought they reseeded, though, for some reason, because I remember thinking, like, why doesn't college football do this? But, college football did do the reseeding for the thing. I was wondering why. I can't remember who I thought didn't reseed, but maybe I'm wrong. But when you look at the way that would play out, that means they would get to play. So 2, 7, 3, 6, they wouldn't have to play the Lakers until the next round. And I think that's the best case scenario. I don't want them early. Let LeBron get beat up in the playoffs a little bit. We know he's going to get a little tired, maybe a little ankle. We would have the Anthony Davis issue, because we know he was going to be out. Like, that was coming. Anthony Davis is a candidate always for being on the bench in street clothes, as Charles Barkley would say. But I would rather play the Rockets. I don't know. I just rather that, or the Clippers. I don't know if they can get to that, because that's going to take a lot for them. Like, that would take the Nuggets dropping and the Clippers jumping to 4, and the Timberwolves getting to 6. No, 5.
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
I mean, it looks like you're way down on the Nuggets, but you have the tiebreaker, and they're only half a game up. So if you simply
you could flip them.
Yeah, the Wolves could very realistically be 4 if they win out. I think you have to win out to do it, and you've got a couple tough games coming up, but you've got the tiebreaker over the Clips, you've got the tiebreaker over the Nuggets. What gets really complicated, Ron, is when you get 3 team tiebreakers and 4 team tiebreakers, because then you're combining all of their records against each other and trying to figure it out. Nobody knows who's going to come out on top. It's going to be crazy with the scenarios on the final day of the season.
Yeah, I kind of want the Nuggets because they're on a 3-7 slide in the last 10 games. I wouldn't mind the Grizzlies, but that's not happening at a 3-7. Well, you know what? Actually, you're right, though. They could somehow jump up to a 4 or 5, and the Nuggets and Clippers fall down. You're right. With all these teams being tied in and only a half game with them, like the only secure team, and even the Lakers, though, the Lakers aren't secure because if they have a 4-game slide and the Nuggets somehow win, they're only a half game ahead of them. So
and they're resting guys tonight against the Thunder. I think the Lakers are taking an L tonight.
Or a game and a half. Sorry, a game and a half. And so you're playing with fire with that game and a half lead and thinking you're going to rest players. But I get it. You got older players. You got an older LeBron. You got a Luka who needs rest. It makes sense. And so they're thinking with that game and a half, we can give up a game because I mean, if you look at it, there's no way they catch the Rockets because they're 3.5 back from the Rockets. So I think that's the other thought. We're not going to get the 2. Our goal is let's rest these guys tonight and then maybe rattle off 3 and stay in this 3, but they're not getting the 2 because it's 3.5 games with 4 to go. It's most likely the Rockets are going to win at least 1 or 2 of those, and they're locked in. And then the Thunder are just locked into the 1. They're the 1 seed. That's clinched. It's not going anywhere. Looks like actually looking at this, looks like the Rockets are clinched too in the 2. They already gave them the little number thing there because I forgot they've already played one other game. They're at 79 games, so these other teams are at 78. So because they only have 3 games left, they're good. So these other teams can't even get them because I mean they only have to win 1 more game and it's untouchable. But again, they have 3 games left compared to the other teams that have 4 games left. So the Rockets are locked in, Thunders are locked in. So give me the Rockets. Give me the Rockets, give me the Nuggets. Those are 2 teams I feel like the Rockets are beatable. Just because I don't feel like they have a true identity other than Dylan Brooks trying to make them the new Grizzlies, and that's maybe working because they do have that attitude. They do have that don't touch my guys. They do have that, I'm going to get in your face and play hard defense. They do have some scores. But I just feel like the Nuggets, and maybe the Jokic thing is the magic is gone because it doesn't feel like the Nuggets always are on the right page, and the Timberwolves seem to have their number when they play them. Who would you rather play?
Yeah, hard not to say the Nuggets with the way they're playing right now. They seem agitated. The Timberwolves kind of broke them when they beat them in double overtime last week. Nuggets have lost 4 in a row. They're playing the worst of anybody right now, and the Wolves have beat them 6 straight. So that seems to be the best matchup for the Wolves, and I still think their depth is far, far superior. Jamal Murray might not even be healthy in the playoffs. It sounds they're kind of talking in what ifs. They don't know for sure if they're going to have Jamal Murray. But then I think the Rockets would be the most entertaining playoff series. If you look at the regular season between these teams, they kind of hate each other. Gobert and Şengün, their big center, have been going at it. That's been a really good back and forth this year. They had an overtime game. They had a last-second shot that Edwards hit to beat them in Houston. 2-2 in the regular season series. That might be the most entertaining first-round series in the entire NBA. I think it could go the distance.
Yeah, and then you got the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves in the play-in, and they have history. We know that. Glue gal, handcuffed to or chain yourself to the rim people. There's all kinds of – and then you got the Ja Morant issues. You got the T. Morant, Timberwolves. There's all kinds of stuff going on with the Grizzlies. Timberwolves, I do feel like since Dylan Brooks left, though, like the Timberwolves, Grizzlies, like the Grizzlies just don't have that oomph anymore. Like they don't have that. Like I saw Bane trying to be a bully because him and Steph Curry got into it, but not the same. Like Dylan Brooks was willing to fight and get kicked out of games. I don't think Bane is really that guy. He's trying to. He has the name of a villain, but just doesn't have the real true villainous in him to do what needs to do to be that guy, to be the Dennis Rodman, to be the enforcer, to be the Bill Laimbeer. He doesn't have that. To be the Isaiah Stewart to the Pistons. Definitely not that guy. Like Isaiah Stewart is like, look, I will score 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, but 2 fists, 4 technicals. Like he's willing to fill up the stat sheet in the wrong spots. But yeah, I would rather see Timberwolves. You're right. I think the Nuggets first, and then I give me the Rockets. But I just think you don't want the 1. You don't want the Thunder right now.
No,
like the Thunder are hot. Shea is on fire. Seems like that team is playing well. And that's what annoys me the most, though, is like how the Thunder don't get talked about enough. And I get it. Shannon Sharp loves LeBron. So he loves to talk about him and the Lakers. And we know they're on the West Coast with a lot of this too. So that's the big market. The Lakers are a big market team. The Thunder is not a big market. Like, they don't have a ton of fans that are going to fill up the Twitter sphere. I don't know if you saw this, Sam, like the Vikings Twitter is one of the top Twitter groups because like the fans here like enjoy, eat, swallow football. And I think that's the basketball with the Lakers. Like, the Lakers have a huge market. Thunder do not. Like, the Thunder don't have it, which is crazy. They're the number 1 seed in the West, and you don't see a lot of chatter from their fandom. But you see a ton of Luka, Lakers, the Mavs got screwed and all this other stuff, and put so-and-so's, put their GM's jersey in the rafters for making this trade to get Luka, all this stuff about the Lakers. But like, I would tell this to Shannon Sharp, Timberwolves, Lakers, if they have to clash, like the Timberwolves beat the Rockets and then they get the Lakers after they win their 3-6 with the Warriors, I really don't care. Justin Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, the Jeffersons, Timberwolves in 5. So now we got to move on. Timberwolves in 6, though. Timberwolves in 6.
Okay.
But now we got to move on to we got Tyler Nubin joining us in the Hanging Ron Johnson segment. My guy, former Gopher, now New York Giant. We have to talk to him about the season, but also he's got a new quarterback in town. Because last time I talked to him at the pro day, they didn't have a quarterback. So he was like, I don't even know. Now they got the quarterback, and they got Russell Wilson. Looks like he's going to be taking the helm. And then Jameis Winston too, right? Like, yeah, Jameis Winston, and they got Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson after the last time I talked to Tyler. So looking forward to see what he thinks about that. And also his rookie year. How'd it go? What was he looking forward to? And what did the Gophers teach him that helped him in this rookie year? Because it seems like all these safeties are going to the league. Jordan Houghton, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tyler Nubin. They're going to the league, and they're ready to play right away. So we'll talk about that and much more coming up next after a word from our sponsors.
We are brought to you today by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account? You wonder, where's the money going? What am I spending on these daily expenses? It's hard to keep track. Monarch Money helps with all of that. And this is a time of year where you're focused on your finances, your last second filing taxes. That was me yesterday. I was on Intuit TurboTax, making sure that all my info was inputted. Monarch Money is your personal CFO. It helps you build wealth and take control of your finances. I have it all categorized. So I see every transaction. All of my accounts are linked up. I see where the money's going, how it's being spent, and then I can adjust accordingly. It's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. Stop just managing your money and start building wealth. All of your spending, all in one place. Track it with Monarch Money, and you'll get some surprising insights when you dig into it. Monarch helps you realize how your money is being spent. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year.
Well, as promised, now it's time for the Hanging Ron Johnson segment, and I got my guy Tyler Nubin joining me, former Gopher DB, former Gopher great on campus, and now he is a New York Giants. You see the NY on his chest, like a little Superman. But Tyler, man, appreciate you for joining me. For those that don't know, Tyler Nubin was drafted by the New York Giants in this year's past draft. He is no longer a rookie, but did have a rookie season. So what's the one thing you're looking forward to, man, going into this year's like OTAs, off-season minicamp, not being a rookie anymore?
Yeah, I just feel honestly really excited to get in and get more comfortable with the system, get more comfortable playing, not run around like a chicken with my head cut off after, the whole draft process and everything like that. So just being able to come in and play football and really have my focus on that.
And when you think about, your situation with the Giants, we were talking about this. You didn't have a quarterback at one point. Now you got two. You got Jameis and you got Russell Wilson, man. So first, I want to go with the Jameis Winston, man. He has a ton of like viral conversations, interviews, man. Are you looking for? Because even in practice, you know what I mean. Like he's a guy that's gonna be throwing to the ones defense. How excited are you to kind of hear some of the Jameis-isms that you end up seeing go viral on the internet?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited, man. I'm sure he's like that all the time because I don't think you could fake something like that. So, yeah, definitely excited to get around him, get to know him, get to know Russ as well. I think they definitely gonna be great additions to the team for sure.
So Tyler, man, as we talked about, you're in a building now where you might after a game you're gonna see Sierra. You and the wife, coming walking down the hall, and you'll know her probably before that. But like, how is that first conversation gonna go? Like, what are you thinking? Like, do you just say, "Hey, I got all your music," or do you kind of try to play it cool, or what?
Nah, hey, I'm humble, man. I don't care. I'm gonna let her know she on the playlist. Shoot, I mean, shit, she on everybody playlist. I hope so. Yeah, definitely gonna have to let them know for sure. But I mean, I'm sure they already know that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, because Sierra, I would say, like, yeah, I grew up with the not grew up. I mean, she's younger than me, but the 1-2 step, all the Missy Elliott, the Sierra, she got the new music coming out.
Hmm.
But let's fast forward, man. You got a chance this season to play against some greats, man. You guys played the Vikings, and we know this is a big time Minnesota show. Locked On Sports Minnesota. Um, how was that getting on the field? Having to worry about Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
It was cool, man, especially for that being my first real NFL game. Going against two super talented receivers like that, Jefferson and Addison. It was great. It was fun to prepare for them. Fun to game plan for them, and definitely fun to play against them. They definitely both two real unique receivers. They both do different things, but definitely both equally as dangerous. So it was fun for sure.
Yeah, man, because you can have a viral moment, but your boy Terrell Smith, I don't know if you talked to him after the Vikings game.
No,
Uh, he
I
had
ain't talking to him.
he had a viral. You got to watch this. He had a
Mm-hmm.
viral kind of moment with him and Jordan Addison. Deep ball, dead to rights. All he had to do was catch it,
Mm-hmm.
and he bobbles it, and all of a sudden, think like, okay, pass breakup.
Right.
Turns around, Jordan Addison scoring a touchdown.
Oh
Terrell
man.
Smith. He didn't get mossed. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a moss situation, but it did kind of like in Minnesota sports at least, it did kind of one of those moments like, man, did Jordan Addison really just do that? And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh wait, that's my guy Terrell Smith. Like,
Yeah,
dang.
right.
And
Yeah.
we had just had him on the show too, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, come on, tea time. Like, but
It's
like
crazy.
that happens going against the greats. You're gonna get yours, they're gonna get theirs.
Right.
Who are some receivers this past season, man, that made you realize like what did you have a welcome to the NFL or this is like rookie welcome to the NFL moment of a guy like whether you did something to him or he did something to you?
Yeah, definitely against Dallas, playing against CD. I just feel like just him in the open field, just how he makes like his decisions so fast, and just how athletic he is, in himself is just crazy. So that was definitely a welcome to the NFL moment playing against him.
And coming out the tunnel, like I said, New York is a huge market,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what you guys do, win, lose, or draw, But I've seen some of your coming out the tunnel moments. I've seen some of your pictures, that the photographers like. It's some about New York and the American flag, and the Big Apple, and all this other stuff, and the historic, Michael Strahan teams, all that. Like, how was that coming out in that uniform, man? Because like the Giants are one of the programs that everybody's like, Dallas, New York, like Green Bay. There's certain teams in
Mm-hmm.
the NFL that are historic, Bears,
Right.
and you're one of them with the New York Giants, man. Like when you first put that uniform on, coming out the tunnel, smoke blowing, all that. Like, what did that feel like?
Man, I can't even describe it, bro. Like Giants was one of my favorite teams growing up. Just watching them and what they were able to do. Back in 2007, 2011. I was a little kid. Growing up watching those teams. Brandon Jacobs is one of my favorite players because he played running back. He wore 27, so I want to be like him. So it's crazy, man. It's a dream come true. I definitely words definitely can't describe that feeling.
And again, going to the NFL, getting prepared for the NFL. PJ Fleck and the Gophers talk about this a lifestyle program. We're not just coming here for 1 year. We're not going to deep dive heavy into the portal. People got to get in the portal. It happens,
Hmm.
but they're not going to dive heavy into the portal. It's like this is a lifestyle program. What were some things, man, like off the field, lifestyle wise, that kind of prepared you for life off the field with the New York Giants?
Oh, honestly, the whole program really. I mean, we would start team meetings off with something that didn't have to do with football every single day. So I learned a lot. How to handle money. How to be a man. How to take care of yourself. How to do the extra things that you need to do in order to be successful. So I feel like a lot of those habits that I learned I'm definitely carrying over to the NFL. And if you don't learn those things in college, it's really hard to build those habits in the NFL. And there's guys that I've been around that don't have those habits built yet, and it's hard to do that. So, in Minnesota, it's a requirement. So you kind of get used to doing that, living that lifestyle, living right, taking care of your body, eating right, doing the right things outside the facility. So you can set yourself up, later in life. So. Yeah, it was great, man. And once you do that, once you get used to doing that, it becomes second nature. It becomes part of who you are. So it's hard to not do that every day.
And again, you said something that I want you to kind of elaborate on a little bit. You said some guys aren't set up to do it that way, and so when you see guys like yourself, you, Antoine Winfield, Jordan Howden, you can go down the list now. You got Benjamin St. Juice as a DB as well. Because I've seen the arguments about Texas and LSU and Alabama being DBU, man, but Minnesota's a sleeping giant for DBs. Ethan Robinson, who came in this past season, transferred from Bucknell. I interviewed him this year on the Ron Johnson show, and we had him on the PJ Flex show as well. And the one thing I asked him that question, I'm like, why Minnesota? And he said that. He was like, when you see guys like Benjamin St. Juice, when you see Tyler Nubin, Antoine Winfield, Jordan Howden, you can go down the list, Eric Murray, he's like, man, you feel like this is a place that people take the DB seriously, and you have an opportunity.
Guys, we got some guys, man.
So how does that feel to you? I mean, your name's in that list now, man, of guys that have pushed the Gophers' NFL dreams to keep them on that upper echelon, to say, like, look, like, we got more DBs in the league than Wisconsin. We got more DBs in the league than Iowa, man. Like, how does that feel for you to be a part of that?
It feels good, bro. And it's kind of crazy because I don't really know if we really talked about that when we were all together. I think about my freshman sophomore year playing with guys like Ben St. Juice, Tweed, Jay Howe. We all kind of, I feel like, expected that, but didn't really have to talk about it. So it's just kind of cool to see all of our work come into fruition, and see everybody doing their thing in the NFL, because we all seen where we came from. So it's awesome, man. And I'm just blessed to be a part of that group, be in that name. Be on that list of guys that did it before me. I was just really following their lead for real.
Yeah, and you got Coy Parrish. I think Coy Parrish is going to be a name that people are going to talk about. You got Justin Wiley is about to come out now, and he's going to be in that early draft pick group. You got, like I said, Terrell Smith from last year. You got Terrell Smith that's out there. So Jack Henderson, he'll have a chance because, again, he ran 4.49. So he was moving at his pro day, and you were there for it.
Right.
I saw you talking to Brian Flores. Flo and I talked a little bit after, man, but I saw you talking to Brian Flores, and he kind of asked you, and I think Kevin O'Connell said something to you too about, first year in the league, blah, blah. Right. How is that when you see coaches like, because, I can see Flo saying like, hey, maybe one day, what is that like when you see coaches that, after you make it, they still like, hey, that's I believe what I saw. We just couldn't draft them where we wanted, when we could get them. To see, like, there's a DB coach or there's a head coach that might still want you 3 years from now.
Right. I mean, it's cool, man. Definitely, shows a lot of respect because, I got a lot of respect for those guys as well. Especially Flo and O'Connell. Those are great coaches in the NFL. They're going to be around for a real long time. So, it's a mutual respect, and it feels good to have that respect from them back, especially after playing against them. So, it's cool, man. It's awesome.
and you got married, for those that don't know, what led you, because I know PJ Fleck taught you how to date. I know they do a dating thing at the University of Minnesota. But what was that like, like that whole thought process and like, hey, like this is the one. I remember, we talked about this 2 years ago, and I know you said that like this, I think this is the one. What kind of, what have you done as a man? Because, again, football's football, but then you still got a life, so what does that time management for you look like?
It's hard, man, especially when I was in college juggling, football and school, and then, a girlfriend, it's hard. But I think, she was always somebody that was always just willing to work with me and just everything that I had. And she made so many sacrifices, for me. Even with her going to school, because she was 2 years older than me. So when she was looking at law school, she could have gone anywhere in the country. She stayed in Minnesota. And she's just always been there. She's always, held me down, had my back. So, it was really just an easy decision for real. when it came that time. I just wanted to make sure that I got to the league first. Make sure I established myself in my career first, and she understood that, so that's why I love her even more for it.
Yeah, man, because it's one of those things where a lot of times, priorities, time management, and it's tough. But like you said, it
Hmm.
looks like the Gophers prepared you for all of this stuff. I know Rachel Barabo has been around, and she taught you
Yep.
guys how to, put on your armor, take off your armor when it's time.
Hmm.
How is that? Because mental health in football, a lot of people don't talk about that enough. And I think I'm glad PJ's done that with you guys in Minnesota. Because I know I was blessed enough to have a support system because I kind of went when I was done with football, depression hit, and now I've talked to guys about that of like, yeah, man, when the lights go dark, you go dark,
Right.
but like, how do I open up and be vulnerable around other men? How am I vulnerable? And for me, it's been Bible study. It's been, getting in the word and taking time and me and my wife praying and, me and able to be open with her. Like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm emotionally struggling with. This is what I'm financially struggling with. This is what I'm sexually struggling with. I mean, there's life to this that people don't understand.
Right.
So for you, when you look at that, like the Rachel Barabo side of things, man, like
Mhm.
how is her, cooking in a pot of PJ, putting those type of people around you guys to, again, man, money management, stress management, all that stuff, while you're in the NFL, like what have you taken from that?
I think honestly that was one of the most important things we did, like as a team for real. Throughout my 5 years there, just I feel like she as well, like she helps you prepare for everything, not just relationships, with your girlfriend, relationships with your parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. 'Cause, relationships are important in life, and how you build them and the people you surround yourself with ultimately is gonna, shape your path and what you're going to be on. So Coach Fleck made that a huge sticking point every single year about who you surround yourself with, the relationships you have, and how to build great relationships, good relationships that last for a long time. So yeah, that was great, and I think it helps you in everything, not just just with one person.
And when you're headed down to year two now,
Mm-hmm.
you got you got your teams. You don't know who you're playing or when you're playing. I mean, so you don't know when you're playing them, but you got your
Mm-hmm.
teams you're playing. We know you got the Cowboys, you got the Commanders. When you play teams like the Commanders and you got St. Juice on the other side, like how fun is that too? Like to be able to not have to compete against him because he's
Mm-hmm.
on defense, you're on defense, so it's just all love. But
Yeah.
how is that like pregame conversation? How is that in-game conversation? If you guys butt heads on special teams, like what does
Yeah.
that look like?
It's been awesome, man. Seeing those guys, that's amazing, bro. I've done so many jersey swaps. I got like everybody's jersey. I got everybody's. I made sure they did it with me. So that was cool. But seeing those guys, it's amazing, man. Especially seeing Brev, played against Brevin
Yep.
for a game this year on Dallas. So it's amazing, man. Just proud of my guys for sure.
And other than Gopher guys, like who's a jersey swap guy out there in the NFL? Anybody that you really want to make sure you swap with, like before you're all said and done?
Hmm. I'll probably say Minka Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
I didn't get
okay,
a chance. I didn't get a chance to. Cause I was trying to swap a beanie when
okay.
we played Pittsburgh and he was gone. So I just respect his game, how he played. So yeah, that definitely be somebody for sure.
Yeah, man, because I know like that's one of those safeties that he did it the hard nosed way. He did
Mm-hmm.
it the right way. Last one for you out of here, man. As you head into year two
Mm-hmm.
with the New York Giants, what are some short term goals, or what is your thought process this season? When you see because you saw Antoine Winfield, he got the bag. He just put the mark out there real high for safeties, the dollar amount. But what are some of your short term goals? Not looking too far ahead to contracts, those are going to come.
Yeah,
But what does year two for Tyler look like?
man. I honestly I haven't really thought too much about specific numbers yet, but honestly I just I want to affect the game in every facet. In the run game, the pass game. 'Cause I feel like last year, especially how the season went, I was a little one dimensional. So just affecting the game in every way I can, get my hands on the ball a lot more. That's what I'm really focused on this off season, and just getting more comfortable out there for real.
Well, man, I want to appreciate you. I want to thank you for joining me on the Ron Johnson Show. That's Tyler Nubin. I'm Ron Johnson. Coming up next, we got the Daily Three. That's three questions. Probably spend about 2 minutes each today, and we'll be back after a quick pause.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Well, now it's time for the Daily 3. That's 3 questions. Spend about 2 minutes each today. Take it away, Sam.
65-63, Florida comes back from 12 behind and wins the national championship over Houston. What did you make of the final possession of the game, Ron? Houston does not get a shot off before the buzzer.
Yeah, it was the weird, jump up in the air. Guy was there, so he dropped the ball, right? That's the situation you're talking about?
Yeah.
So I see a lot of people, I see some dumb takes on Twitter as well. But I see a lot of people questioning that. And I could tell people, you could tell the people that don't know basketball, because people are like, why would he do that? What is going on? Well, one, he thought his shot was going to get blocked. I think that was just a clutch moment of him making a mistake. Also, he did try to block out the guy because he can't touch the ball again. Because people are like, why didn't he just grab the ball? He can't, because he went up to shoot and then he lost the ball. So it's a lost ball. He cannot grab it. So he was hoping one of his teammates can run over and get it. Florida dives on the ground. So one, it's crazy because Houston, everybody talk about the fact that the team averages a 5-minute, 19-second mile. That means everybody on the team is running between 4 to 6 minutes in the mile. And so as a team, their team mile is 5.19 average. And so that's nuts. And then their workout, if you watch their picture, they're just a super workout team. They dive on the floor. Kelvin Sampson has those guys diving on the floor, hustle, and they get beat with a hustle play. They also get beat the same way they beat Duke, coming back in the late parts of the game. When they had a 10-point lead, Sam, I don't know if you noticed, or 12, no, 10. I'm not gonna say 12. I think it was 15-32 to go in the game. It was 42-32. I thought the game was over. I'm a 10-point lead in the national championship game with a team like Houston that can score. It's over. Sam, the game ended in they only scored 20 more points. They scored 42 and then scored 20 or 21. That's crazy. That's 50% less production. Literally exactly 50% less production from the 15-32 mark in the second half. They went 42-32 and then 21 points. So the guy you're talking about, the player number 21, people are saying he choked. I just think he had a tough 2 turnovers at the end of the game. Tough moment, big lights. Not saying they were too bright for him. Kid had a great tournament. But the way Houston came back on Duke, I thought they would have learned. And so and some people are like, oh, this is because people blame John Shire for the Duke collapse. Call a timeout, do something, get it back together. People can say the same thing about Kelvin Sampson. Get it back together. But at the same time, in that moment, as the stretch is getting clear, you hope your players just find a way to come out of it. And that's the tough thing about a coach. When do you bang a timeout? When do you let your players figure it out? And Florida won. Florida played it right. I have not looked. I think was that Luke Braun and his dad maybe won or something. I didn't even look to see.
Luke Braun's father was the bracket champion.
Which is Luke.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it is because Luke Braun is never he gets last in every contest we have on that show. I don't believe that he
would take
the true winner. I think I'm giving it all to his dad because
are you guys going to give him crap for this tomorrow and today?
Yes. Oh yes.
So they have the Luke Braun's dad won the whole thing. But yeah, it's one of those things, Sam, where I think it was a great game. It just sucks. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. My wife always says she hates to see the people that lose walk off the court, like South Carolina and UConn. So it's just a tough one. But yeah, no, I think it came down to a great game, and I think everybody got what they wanted, and the committee was right. The committee was right. When you look at the ones, you look at the brackets, this is the 1 year, because I think Florida was the number 1 overall seed, right? Or was it Houston?
It was Auburn.
Auburn, because they were in the top left. You're right. Yeah, the top left is you're right. So Auburn lost. But Florida got it done, and then Duke lost. I had Duke winning it, which I think Duke could have won. If Duke had come out of that Houston game, I think they beat Florida. I don't think they let that happen twice. I don't think they would have had to come back like that. Cooper Flag matches up a little bit better against Florida than the way Houston did. But, Florida shot the ball well towards the end, and it's just a tough way to lose.
Walter Clayton for Florida. think he's going to get drafted in the 20s. I think that's where the Wolves are going to be picking in the draft. I wouldn't mind having Walter Clayton playing for the Wolves. Not that I'm done with Dillingham, but I don't know. He feels like he's a really, really good shooter. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's talk about the Women's National Championship. Paige Beckers got the title for UConn. Ron, do you think she could be, when all is said and done, could she be the top Minnesota-born women's basketball player ever beyond Lindsay Whalen?
I think so, but it's tough. It's tough. Lindsay Whalen won 4 championships. That's the one thing. So when Lindsay Whalen did not win a championship in college, Paige got her there. From a high school standpoint, I think Paige won 2 or 3 or 4 championships in high school. Lindsay did not. So early on, you got the championship in college, you got the championships in high school. Paige edges Lindsay there. But then when it comes to being a pro, Lindsay got 4. And Lindsay had UConn great Maya Moore. She had a loaded team, Simone Augustus. So can this Dallas Wings, if that's where all signs point to Dallas Wings are going to draft Paige Beckers #1 overall, can she get to a team with that and start to win games? Caitlin Clark did not find early success. I find it tough. Diana Taurasi said it best. It's not that easy to just walk in the league and take over. I think Caitlin Clark will figure it out eventually. But Paige Beckers, same thing. The difference is Paige Beckers is not seeking a shot. She is a true facilitator and point guard. So can she be the best of all time? I don't know. Lindsay won 4 pro championships. That's a tough one. We got to let this play out with Paige and see how her WNBA. But all signs with her WNBA career are pointing to she's going to a bad team. It's going to take time to get up there. So I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, think about what Maya Moore meant to the Lynx when she came to the Lynx. She transformed the Lynx from kind of a bottom dweller into a championship contender. So if Paige can have that impact in Dallas, maybe there's a chance. But there's so much talent and parity in the WNBA now. I think winning 4 titles now is harder than it was when the Lynx did it, because the league has gotten better. There's a lot more talent.
Really,
it's going to be fun to watch, though. Last one, Ron. Alexander Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record on Sunday. 895 goals. Where does this stand among some of the great all-time career accomplishments in sports?
Putting on skates is hard. Skating on ice and stopping is hard. Staying on your feet on ice with skates and people pushing you and punching you is hard. That's a big one. That's and the longevity of a brutal sport like that, where people are trying to take your head off, you're missing teeth. That's hard. He's up there. I would put him on the Mount Rushmore of scoring. I guess you got the question is always going to be Michael Jordan versus LeBron James when it comes to scoring in the Mount Rushmore of that. So we're not talking about athletic ability. You're talking about accomplishments, people. LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer for NBA. So is LeBron James up there? You got Alexander Ovechkin up there. You got who's in baseball? Who's the home run guy in baseball? Is it Bonds?
Barry Bonds with an asterisk, right? Because steroids. So that one's tarnished a little bit, but that's probably one of the most hallowed records.
Yeah, you got Barry Bonds with that. And then so you got basketball, you got baseball, you got
18
hockey.
Majors in golf. Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors.
Because Tiger's never going to catch that now, right?
No.
Yeah. So I would say he's up there. He's up there on the Mount Rushmore of sports accomplishments. You got basketball, LeBron scoring. You got Alexander Ovechkin hockey scoring. You got Barry Bonds the home run, and then you got to go with the majors in golf. And so I'd say those 4. He's up there in the top 4. It's and his longevity, his versus LeBron. I know that was a question on First Take. I mean, he's up there. And I don't know if you've seen his pregame, the fact that he's getting hyped to bands and make her dance. I became an Ovechkin fan the more I started watching all these videos of him pregame and how he acts in the locker room. When he wins, how he just celebrated forever. And just like a normal civilian. He's not trying to be all champagne in the VIP room. He's in the streets, in the pools, jumping in there with his boys. He is a true just having fun type of athlete, and I love that. So, but yeah, I put him on the Mount Rushmore of scoring.
I would too. I almost feel like there was more hype for this than there was for LeBron breaking the scoring record.
It is. Nobody likes LeBron. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about scoring a goal in hockey that just it's just a little harder to do than scoring a basket in basketball. Right. So it meant like that moment of the puck going in the net for the 895th time it felt like it meant a little bit more.
And Gretzky was 894.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of goals. I have 0.
A lot of goals.
I have 0 goals. So I got a long way before I can get to 895, which I'm never getting there because I don't think I'm ever going to put on ice skates. At my age, I'm not doing it. I don't think I'm ever going to do it unless I'm forced to do it. My daughter's in her 20s, and she's like, Dad, I want to go ice skating for Christmas. Okay, I'll do it. But I'm not doing it. I just don't. My knees, it looks like it hurts. It hurts when you fall. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom. Thank you guys for joining us on the Ron Johnson Show today. Make sure you guys tune in all off season. The draft is coming. So we're going to make sure we try to get some of these former Vikings draft picks to come join us on the show. I want to thank you guys. Have a great week.